This is a tutorial on the importer functions of Fast64 for Super Mario 64. Now when you first open Blender, you'll be greeted to this common scene of the default cube, camera, and light. I'm going to hit A and delete those. We don't need them. Now if I press N, it should open up your item tabs. I'm going to go to SM64. Now, it might be collapsed here. If you're using base decomp, you'll be wanting to use MIO compression and refresh 16. And I will select my decomp path. Here's my decomp path. Let me hit accept. Now, if I want to use the importing menus, the binary importing menus, I will have to click show importing menus, and then I will also need a extended ROM. So here's my extended ROM. I made that ROM using SM64 ROM Manager, just opening and saving the ROM to get the 64 megabyte file. Now let's import Toad. So we'll go to the Geolayout importer. And now we will need the start address. To get the address, we will go to the Fast64 README in the SM64 section, and we'll want to find this, the SM64 Geolayout pointers by level text. Will take us here, and I just controlled F to find Toad on this page. Now the bank's starting address is here, and Toad's offset is right there. So what we'll have to do is add the offset to the starting address. So I have a calculator here. Now these numbers are in decimal, but Fast64 will require them to be in hexadecimal. So convert that after. So enter the starting address of the bank, add the offset, and that gives us the decimal, but we will need this number right here. And go ahead and copy it. I'll go back to Blender. Enter the start address for Toad. We'll get rid of the space that Windows Calculator generated. And now we will want to select inside castle, because that's where Toad is. We want to generate armature so we can import animations later. And I will go ahead and hit import. And now we have our Toad. Now just know that the binary importer does not import materials. So he will have none of his textures. Now let's go over animation importing. Here we'll go down to the animation importer. Now we will also need a start address here. And to find the start address for the animation, you will need quad 64. The quad I am using is version 0.3 from the GitHub. You open it up, you can load a extended or unextended ROM, same difference. What you want to do is you'll want to go to the correct level. So that'll be inside castle again, load it up, go to the script dumps, we want the objects header, and we'll want to scroll down until we find Toad. And we'll want to go to his behavior script. Now, command 27 right here is loading his animations. So we'll need these 4 bytes or 8 digits. Copy that. Bring it back into Fast. Now we want to unselect is DMA animation. Is anim list. That is correct. And then we can select which animation we want to import. So we'll just go ahead and import the first one, add the starting address there. And we will also want is segmented address. And we'll want the same level. And then we're going to go and import the animation. Now I have this error because I did not select the armature. So select the armature. Now import animation. And there we go. If I hit spacebar, we'll see that the first animation on the list is a wave and the walk away from the ending cutscene. Now let's move on to the C importer. So here, if you're using the branch of Fast64 that has the C importer, you'll have an extra tab and it will look like this, and I'll go to the actor importer. Now we need the group that Toad is in, which is group 15, which you can find by searching in the decomp. And we want to select the correct Geolayout, which would be Toad's. And now I will hit import actor. And now we have Toad's mesh imported, along with some other objects related to his geobones, his armature. Now I've noticed using the import armature doesn't work as well or at all as the binary importer. So what I'm doing here is I'm showcasing that the textures will be imported as well, as long as you have already extracted or built the decomp. Now you can apply these textures to our other mesh. I go down here, I can change this one to the toad face that was imported, and now we got this funny little toad. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one now. And now I can also go in, hit tab. Now the UVs are correct, so if I go ahead and select this face, hit L to select the linked faces, I can go ahead and add another material. And I'll use the toad head material that was generated, and I will assign it. And now we have the head texture applied as well. Hitting tab again, we go back into object mode, and now we can see our naked toad. Now let me show you how to export said toad once we have him. So I'm going to go back to Fast64, and I'm going to set some things here. I'm going to update my F3D microcode, because I'm going to import this into Hacker SM64. I'm going to go back to the SM64 tab. Now Hacker uses YAY, but you can also use MIO. Either will work, and newer versions of Fast64 also have a refresh for Hacker M64, so you can select it. If not, you can just select refresh 16. Hacker SM64 also features the matrix stacks fix, so I can go ahead and click that. Now I'm going to change my decomp path to my version here, and I'll hit accept. And now I want to export him, so we're going to use the combined exporter. Drop this down. We want to export this object, so we're going to export his graphics, and we are going to select his armature. Now here again, I said toad is part of group 15, and we will use toad as his name, and that should work all right. And then I'm going to hit export, and now we'll get this error: object does not have UV map. That's because when importing with the binary importer, the UV map will be called float2. Easy enough to just rename this as UV map. Let's try again. Success. Now I'm going to go over here. Here I'm using VS Code, and you can see toad has been exported. We're going to go ahead and make clean and make J4. You can also see I have debug set to the castle, so we can just get right into it. Showcase Aries. And we're here in the castle, and there is our naked toad. Success.